9 races for us at Happy Valley on a Wednesday night. After a little bit of a break, we had a Sunday off. Saturday racing at Sha Tin. Of course, coming off that, we'll be looking back on the action there first. But a very warm welcome to Racing to Win. We've got Happy Valley covered for you here. I'm Andy Lejeune. Please say I'm joined by our form analyst, Paul Lally, and race caller Mark McNamara as well. And Mark, the end of the card at Happy Valley looks particularly strong Wednesday night.
It is indeed, Andrew. Hello to you and everybody. It's a pretty open card too, right across the meeting, with a number of chances in most races looking at the form leading into it. Zach Freshoff, 5 winners at the Valley last Wednesday night. Of course, Tengmere, he's looking to make it 3 in a row. Shenport nicely in 2, looking to make it 3 wins from his last 4. But should be a bit of value around, I'd imagine, on Wednesday night.
Always looking for that. Jackpot-wise as well, Paul, what are we looking at there?
No, nothing. They all got one last week, some pretty big dividends as well last week, so there's no jackpots to speak of here. But there is some interesting, as you say, some really good betting opportunities. There's a couple of first starters, I think, have got plenty of ability as well, so be interesting to see how they go at the course. I think Joe Moreira's got a good book, and see if he can, he's only one behind at the moment.
He certainly is, yeah. He's got full book of rides, 9 rides for Joe. We'll get into that in a moment or so. Before we look forward, though, to Happy Valley, let's look back on Sha Tin in our racing review. Class 1 action is what we're looking back on Saturday's card at Sha Tin. And, well, Jerry Chow had already made a bit of a splash with Relentless Me, winning his first day in the saddle here in Hong Kong for his boss Douglas White, and then came out and did this, Mark, for John Moore with Buddies.
And didn't get engaged in that speed battle that he could have with More Than Lucky up front. He was quick to send Buddies up on the outside, turning for home. He's had a great start to Hong Kong, Jerry. 4 rides for 2 wins, a 3rd and a 4th. And you made mention of that straight after this race, Paul, that he could have so easily gone to war with More Than Lucky and come undone, but used his head to perfection and saw the result at the end of the race just like that.
Yeah, he had a plan B, didn't he? Because we know Buddies likes to lead. He didn't get into that speed duel with Alfred Chan. He set off, and when he pushed the button, he had plenty of a horse there. So he looks really tidy in the saddle too. I think he's going to be a huge asset up here in Hong Kong.
Yeah, £10 claim doesn't do any harm, does it? But 2 winners already after that first one as well. Don't want to distract from Jerry either, but that run of Amazing One Plus in 2nd place there on debut, over 200 to 1, Paul, was a huge effort.
Yeah, a huge effort, wasn't it? So he's another horse who's going to have a really good future up here. And you can see Buddies went up 6 along with Hong Kong Win and Assimilate. The biggest rises came from Hunwan Swiftness, who was very impressive, and Gallant Legacy as well.
All right, well, they were the big winners on the day. Let's see if we can find you some more with our horses to follow. There was a number of first starters, Paul, a number of eye-catching runs. We just touched on Amazing One Plus. What did you see?
I saw this horse here called Fast Pace. You can see he was last, turning for home. Now, he's by Savabeel. This was over 1,200 metres, so the further they go, the better for him. Keep an eye on him when he steps up to 1,100. This was his debut run. And his trials have just been okay coming into this. And look, he's obviously a horse who saves it for race day. So I thought it was a run full of merit. He hit the line really strongly. And as I mentioned, when you get up to 14 or 16, I think you'll see the best of this horse, Fast Pace.
All right, and that was Hunyan Swiftness from Go to Woe winning the first race there. Mark, what about you?
Chorus Unicorn, Andrew, in the last, started over 300 to 1 in this race, his last turning for home. He's only had the 2 starts, trained by Michael Chang. Jenny suggested from the yard that he needed one more and then he should be spot on, rock hard fit, and that would suggest that Jenny's going to be spot on with the wayfinds line. Gets held up here too with the shadow roll in the background, the grey. Then he's got to try and ease out from in behind them. He won't be starting 300 to 1 next time if this runs anything to go by. That was a pretty strong field and goes to the line just with no room whatsoever. So a horse going very much the right way, Kairos Unicorn.
And Assimilate just nosing out, right choice there, right on the line. For me, another first starter here, Armour Star, who was a little bit outpaced in the early stage. It's over the 1,200 metres, a 4-year-old by Dalgar. 4 trials coming into this, hadn't shown that much, hence the reason he went off at 135 to 1. Iluvatar was all the rage as far as the first starters were concerned in this field. That's him sort of labouring in the purple and white jacket down the outside. But you can see Armour Star runs into a bit of trouble there, then gets going again late. Gallant Legacy winning the race for Wagner Borges. He had 2 on the programme. Michael Chang, the trainer there. But Armour Star, I think probably would surprise me a little bit anyway. But we won't get the 130 odd to 1 next time. But hopefully we will get some sort of price. But I think he's a nice horse going forward. Now, out of the meeting, Joe Moreira got 1 day and Alfred Chan picked up a day careless riding as well, so the 27th and the 24th, respectively. All right, well, that leads us into Happy Valley then Wednesday night for the 9-race programme. The horse not going round would have had a chance as well. Sank on Sank, race number 8, horse 2, replaced by Good Omen. So Zach Burton makes the switch. He would have ridden Sank on Sank, and Good Omen probably not without a chance either. As we head to the city track, we're on the C course Wednesday night for meeting number 70 of the season. There's one Class 5 race of the night. And it's the first 1,200 metres trip headed by the Abraxas, drops back into this grade. He's been placed his only start prior. Ireland winner takes the class drop as well. Galaxy Racer changed the gear, blinkers off, visor on, beaten favourite 2 of his last 3 starts. Harbour Alert, cheek pieces go on, gets the inside gates. So we've got Junzi again, cheek pieces off, blinkers go on. He's a course and distance winner in the past. Lightning Missile was a course and distance winner 3 starts back. Yi Chong Lucky last on his last start, and Bandy has been last on his last 3 starts. Gets the outside gate as well, barrier number 12 and Ben So. Supreme Plus is the horse that's been up at Chung Farm in the last month. 3 trips in actual fact. Frankie Law, Vincent Noah. He'll ride him mark from barrier number 2. How's the speed look?
Yeah, a lot of speed in this first race, Andrew. Harbour Alert, Great Sun. The Abraxas from barrier number 10 could get left at 3 wide. Jimson the Dragon just off the pace. He led up last time down the straight at Shard 10. Chunghua Jingshen, who's won a couple of trials in front, may have to settle for 3 wide with cover. Lightning Missile, Supreme Plus, and Bandy and Junzi will be hoping the speed's hot and they can get into the race late.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? And the first horse we're going to have a look at is the Abraxas. He goes nice. He's just got this awkward draw. He's got Joe Moreira on. He's in the right grade. He moves nicely enough. That's him 2-1-2 closest to us. So a nice piece of work from him. He's very fit coming into this contest. Island Winner, I thought his work's been good as well leading in. Another horse who's been downgraded. Chad Schofield, barrier number 6. Here's a Class 5 winner over 1,000. He's running over 1,200 here. So not a bad piece of work from him leading in. And Junzi with the blinkers on, it looks like he's sharpened him up, the old 7-year-old. And I just really liked his work going into this. He's not the biggest horse around, but he comes in with 125 pounds and Neil Cullen aboard. I thought his work was good.
All right, excellent. Okay, that's the track work. Let's look at some of the action on the track itself. Starting off with the Abraxas, come as our early favourite. He's had 1 try in Class 5 in the past, finished second to Multimax. Does have this barrier 10 though, Mark.
He does. He worked pretty hard to lead in this race. He was drawn out in barrier number 10 this night too, and it took him about half the race to eventually work up outside the leader and find the front. And you can see here Bright Kids come off the rail and run past him, but what we didn't see there, Paul, was the work that he'd done, and he was entitled to knock up in that last little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing that worries me, he's going to have to do a bit of work again with Harbour Alert and Great Sun underneath him. I think they're just going to make him have to work a little bit. He's come up pretty short.
All right, well, here is Great Sun winning last time out. He's a 3-time winner all up now, twice course and distance. Yi Chong Lucky further back.
Yeah, and he did this from the front, didn't he? So he hit the line strongly. Yi Chong Lucky, I think he needs to improve a little bit with him, so I haven't entertained him. But look, with this horse here, it was a nice win from him. He fought all the way to the line. It's just whether he can put 2 together.
He had a pretty nice lead that night too. They didn't go any sort of super times along the backstretch and was able to see Great Sun kick on and win the race. He's got to be a definite chance again despite going up in weight.
All right, that's Great Sun then. What about Chunghua Jinsen? Back at the trials here. 7 starts without running a place so far, Paul.
Yeah, I think the big thing for him, he's drawn 11 as well. There's all that pace we mentioned in the race, and he just got an easy lead here and cruised to the line. I think he's going to struggle a bit from that wide draw.
I think so too. He's tried actually pretty well either side of his last start. He's won them both. They were both on the all-weather at Shard 10, so perhaps he is looking for another all-weather start where he can find an easier lead, but he'll be showing pace like so many of them in the first.
All right, it's best part of 50 to 1 at this stage. They try the visor on for the first time, so maybe that'll help somewhat, but the Abraxas has come up short here, Paul. What do you think? Yeah,
I've got him in there, but I'm going to make my long shot in this race. I think Junzi, the one I showed in track work, he's got blinkers on as a 7-year-old for the first time. He's 27 to 1 at the moment. Neil Cullen rides this track so well, and I just think he's over. So he's on top. We'll see what he does start. The Abraxas in there for second. Island Winner, the other downgrade. I think he's going well enough. And Galaxy Racer in there for third. He's had plenty of starts in Class 5, but is quite consistent without winning. 8, 1, 2, 3.
I'll go the Abraxas. I don't necessarily think Joe's going to charge him across if the opportunity is not there to lead, but with the early speed, he might be able to slot in just off the pace, and that could be the winning of the race for him. So he's come up the favourite at 2.2. Galaxy Racer should have won a race in a couple of those previous starts. He's been Favourite 2 of the last 3, and then he was right the market when 4th behind Humble Steed last time, so he's in for 2nd. Got Harbour Alert in for 3rd. He's got the cheek pieces on again. The first time he had cheek pieces on, he actually placed with them in Class 3. It was a while ago. He's at 25 and 3.8, so he'll get some good value. And number 5, Great Sun, who we saw. He had that pretty easy lead. He did enough to win. He goes up £8 for the win. 1, 3, 6 and 5.
Yeah, the Abraxas has to be in calculations. I quite like Jimson, the Dragon here, from a good draw barrier 4, sits in behind the speed, and Antoine can drop the hammer when they get into the straight and hopefully get over the top. And they're on for Dennis Yip in the first. Right, it's race number 1.